Good morning, welcome back to my channel. How are you all today? Well, it's an absolutely glorious morning, as you can see from the beautiful blue skies, and I really just wanted to take you guys on a walk with me. This is something that I like to do, well, obviously if the weather is good. I like to come out for walks in the morning because this park is very, very close to where I live, and I much prefer, breathing fresh air than sweating it out in the gym. So yeah, I love coming to this park for morning walks, and I wanted to take you guys with me this morning. And this, as you can see behind me, if I can try and focus it, you can see there's a pagoda behind me. This is it's a Japanese peace pagoda, which was built by the Buddhist monks as in the Nipponzan, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, Nipponzan temple, as a symbol of world brotherhood. So I'll just walk up there and show you. Right, it's quite a lot of steps, but it's last flight. I'll just see if I can zoom in. It's beautiful, huh? I've lived in this area. This park is actually is literally about a couple of minutes walk from my house, and every single day I feel so blessed to have this on my doorstep. So whenever I come out for morning walks, it's just wonderful, especially you see all these little old ladies walking their dogs in the morning. And it's just so lovely, and feeling the fresh air on my face. I've never really been a very active person in terms of, doing sports and activities. But I think as I've gotten older, I really can see the importance, because my joints are aching all the time, and I was actually born with very weak bones and joints and ligaments, and I have a history of knee dislocations as well, but we won't go into that. And so I've never really been very active. But I think since moving here, I think it's about 3.5 years ago now, it's really made a big difference to my life, just having these sort of beautiful park so close to where I am, and it just felt silly to not make use of it, really. So I decided to just start walking a little bit at a time. At the beginning, I couldn't really walk very far, and sorry if I'm sounding out of breath, it's because I'm actually walking up a hill right now. And it's been a while since I did any sort of long walks as such, because the weather has been absolutely dreadful, and it's only the last couple of days that we're finally seen the sun. So anyway, yeah, so I started sort of doing short walks, and then gradually sort of built it up. And now I tend to come out, I sort of walk up the hill, and sort of do like a circle. And then I will do a little bit of Tai Chi as well before I go home. So, see the pagoda on my left? Yeah, and I just feel very grateful to have this, because in fact, you know, I just want to share with you a story from my past, which, you know, every time I come out to walk, I always think back to this story, because going back many years ago, you know, our previous house that we lived in for many years, it was quite an old property, pretty run down, but it was one where, you know, we built a lot of memories, because it was my first marital home that I moved into as soon as well, it was a few months after I got married, we moved into this home. So even though it was an old rundown property and it was a rented property, it was a rundown property, it was our home. And it was where, you know, I became a mother for the first time. And so yeah, it was our home, and we made memories there. And but I remember when my son was 4 and he started school, reception. This was my eldest son. He very quickly became friends with this other boy. I won't name any names. And every single day, especially, you know, as a parent whose son was going to school for the very first time, you always want them to connect with somebody and make friends. So the fact that he was able to sort of become best friends with this boy so quickly was quite a relief for me. And every single day he would come home and I'd ask him, so what did you do at school today? It was always, oh, I played with this boy. And according to his teachers, it was always just the two of them, no one else. It was almost like they just had a really strong bond. And I just thought that was really wonderful, you know? So anyhow, I'm not one of those kind of school mums who will connect with all the other mums. I'm not sort of really like that. Not because I don't want to, but it's just because, you know what it's like if you're a mother. During the school runs in the morning and in the afternoon, it's absolute chaos. And it's always, you know, I will do school runs in between my work. So it's not like I really have time to just stand around and chat with other mums. So for quite a long time, I didn't really kind of know or get to know any other mums. But I felt, well, since my son was best friends with this other boy, I should make an effort to get to know his mum. So I did, and I remember, you know, at a couple of school events, I took photos of the boys together, and then I put all the photos on a CD and I gave it to her as a gift, and I kind of tried to break the ice that way. And so one day, she very kindly invited my son to her house to play with her son. And that was really nice, you know, it was after school and he had a really lovely time. So after that, it was my son's birthday, so I organized the party and invited a few kids. So we gradually kind of got to know each other a little bit, just sort of very much just on the surface, you know, just at least on the school runs we'd say, oh, hi, how are you? And, you know, at least we had someone to say hi to. And then one day I asked if her son would like to come to my house to play with Isaac after school. So she said, yeah, that's fine, and we organized it. So so after school, I brought her son back to my house, and the boys had a really good time playing. And then she was going to come and fetch him after her work. And so she did. She came by to pick up her son. And it was really strange, but when I opened the door, she sort of said, oh, hi. And somehow there was something odd about her demeanor. And she came in and she stood in the hallway, and she kind of looked around. She looked up and just kind of looked around, and she didn't really say anything. She just said, oh yeah, has my son been a good boy? And I said, yeah, the boys have had a really good time, and they've been playing hide and seek around the house and so on. And we just chatted a little bit, and then she took her son home, and I said, yeah, let's do it again sometime, as you do. And then, so I thought, okay, I didn't really think much of it. But then about a couple of weeks later, when I asked her, oh, would your son like to come round and play again? She said, oh, actually, he's busy. He's going to his grandma's for lunch or something, or going to his grandma's for the day. I said, oh, okay, oh, well, never mind. So, we'll arrange it another time. And you know what? From that time onwards, every time I asked if her son was free to come round to play, the answer would always be no. That he was always doing something, he was going somewhere, he was going to his grandma's. And so in the end, I got the hint. It was blatantly obvious that she felt my son wasn't good enough to be friends with her son anymore. And she made that judgment just from coming to my house and seeing where I live. And I was so angry. I felt a lot of anger because I thought, first of all, my house is not a dump by any means. Yes, it wasn't as nice as hers, but I mean, her house wasn't all that, to be honest. But it was maybe just slightly nicer than mine, but it wasn't, how can you judge somebody just based on that? And I was gobsmacked. And how do you explain to your 4-year-old son that, I'm sorry, darling, but your best friend's mummy doesn't want you to be best friends with her son anymore because she doesn't think we're good enough for them? Right? So it was heartbreaking for my son as well, because he felt like, he still considered this boy to be his best friend, but he always wondered, Mummy, why is it I can't play with him after school? Why is it he can't come to our house anymore? Why does he never invite me to his house anymore? For me, that was heartbreaking. So in the end, I guess it was a blessing in disguise, because eventually they naturally drifted apart anyway. And then Isaac started to get to know a couple of other boys in his class, and they quickly sort of bonded. And to this day, how many years now? 8 years down the line now, they're 12 now, they are still best friends. So yeah, I guess, and also from that experience, once I got over the initial anger, I realized, there will always be people like that who will judge you without even knowing you, who will just make judgments based on what they see outwardly, whether they don't like your appearance, they don't like where you live, or they don't like what you do, whatever it is. There will always be negative people out there, haters. And you know, haters will always find something to hate. And it actually says more about them and their lives than you. And I realized I cannot let people like this destroy me. And instead, I used it as motivation to better myself. And I did. You know, over the years, I've worked really, really hard to master my work. And of course, you know, I've been given a lot of opportunities, or a lot of it, you know, thanks to my own brother. And I've encouraged myself to step out of my comfort zone, to take risks. And it was all really down to having experiences with people like this woman. And I sort of harnessed that negativity and turned it into something positive. Because you cannot, you know, be defined by bad things that have happened to you in the past. Your life is not defined by that. And all the naysayers and all the, you know, negative experiences do not dictate your future. You have to know your self-worth. And now, you know, I am so thankful to be in my position now. I'm really living a comfortable life. I have 2 beautiful boys, a loving husband. My parents are still around. You know, I'm very blessed to still have both my parents around. They're healthy, they're happy. I have a wonderful family, I have a wonderful support network. And, you know, I'm living in a beautiful place, beautiful area. And I am so grateful for that. And I think that it very easily could have been different. You know, I could have carried on with that bitterness. And, you know, she wasn't the only person I met who kind of gave me that vibe. There was many people over the years I met who were like that. But if I let them destroy me, then definitely I wouldn't be where I am today. And so in a way, I have to thank them too. Because it made me realize that people, every person that comes into your life are there for a reason. And every person you meet will teach you something, a lesson. And that is, you can either aspire to be like them. So if you meet somebody who is amazing, it will inspire you and help you to aspire to be more like them. Or will teach you and motivate you to be better than them. So if you've had bad experiences in your life, or if it's something that you are going through right now, I just want to encourage you to harness it and take that negativity and turn it around. Don't let it destroy your soul. Know your self-worth, because you know that you are better than what anyone else thinks you are. And you are more capable than what anyone else thinks you are. But you have to believe in yourself and every day, keep trying, keep pushing, keep working. Never, ever, ever give up. And I think the key is definitely consistency. If you've set that goal in your mind, you know what it is you want to achieve, then you have to every day work towards your goal, little by little. And before you know it, you've climbed a mountain. In my case, I haven't quite climbed a mountain. I've just climbed up a hill. But what of you? So I would very much like to invite you to share your experience with me. If you've had any sort of bad negative experiences that have had an impact on your life, please share with me by putting it in the comments below. For now, just sit with me and enjoy this view together.